On August 20th, 2020, the police responded to this terrifying phone call at 5 a.m.
911, where is your emergency? I'm on North 225 West Road. There's a body hanging off the bridge, no head. There's a car coming. Okay. There's a dead body.
That's a deer.
Are you sure?
Yeah. But I'll back up and I'll say.
I'm on the phone with the cops now. Okay, she thinks it's a deer? No, it's a body. It's a body.
From what I can tell, it looks like an arm.
Yeah, that's what I've seen, with no head. I'm freaking out.
You're fine. I'm going to pull over and I'm going to stay with you.
Okay. I've never seen
After
something
this
like
call, the police immediately went to the intended place, and upon entering the place, they were surprised by the terrible scene they saw. It was that his head was completely separated from his body. It may be strange, but her legs were hanging from the bridge, and at the same time the police were trying to find out what exactly happened to Hope Parks. Michael Parks called the police and reported his wife missing.
Hi, my name is Michael Parks, and me and my wife, we kind of got into an argument Tuesday, and I haven't seen her, and I'm getting worried.
Okay, what's her name?
Hope, somebody picked her up. She got into a car with somebody, and they left. It was either a silver or a white, like Honda Civic.
After this call, the police asked Michael to give an explanation about his wife who was missing. When Michael was giving the description and characteristics of his wife, the police informed Michael that the woman whose head was separated from her neck matched the characteristics of his wife. Michael had told the police that he did not see his wife because the day before, after an argument between them, his wife left the house and got into an unknown car and left there. Takes him to the interrogation room.
What is your full name, sir?
Michael Dale Hurst.
What'd you call this apartment about?
I'm worried about her.
You're worried about your wife?
Yes.
Okay. Why? What's going on? I mean, what's...
We've been arguing over my son for the last couple months.
Okay.
He's in and out of drugs. Can't keep a job. He brought drugs into the house. I kicked him out. I don't want him there. She wants him there. It got to the point where I told her to choose between me or him. One of us has got to go. Well, he left. She's been wanting him to come home. I say no. She texted me and asked me if I called the insurance. I said no. I said I haven't had time. You can read it.
If you pay attention, after handing over the phone to the detective, Michael puts his hand on his face and head and then covers his mouth. This happens when a person endures a lot of nervous pressure.
Your son has some drug issues or anything? Does your wife have any alcohol or drug issues?
No.
Is there anything that...
No. She's...
Michael's answer here was completely irrelevant. Instead of easily talking about the things that his wife used, he talks about his wife's negative behavior to the detective, which he can use against his wife if something is proven against him.
Very clean.
Self-control or controlling on everybody?
Controlling on everybody.
Okay. Okay.
Which I'm used to it. They don't bother me.
Yeah, after 25 years, you find your niche. I mean,
I've gotten used to it. I take medication. I do have anger issues, but I take medication for it.
Michael continues to provide information that was not asked of him and also mentions that he has never been violent towards his wife. Excessive and voluntary sharing of unnecessary information makes the detective more suspicious of Michael than before. This excessive sharing of information is used to reduce anxiety.
So nothing, controlled substance, no Xanax or anything like that. Okay. Now, and granted, it's what all families do as well, especially if you're arguing over a kid and stuff.
I want to hurt him. I hate to say this and have it on recording, but I do. I want to hurt him. That's why he had to go.
So this is kind of where you need to kind of step up to the plate. Tell us what happened. It was at your house that something happened to her.
Not with me.
There was nobody else that could have been.
I don't know what to tell you. Saying I did something.
Yeah. And we're just trying to figure out. I mean, obviously, you're not a bad person. You got 2 kids with her. You went a long way.
Kind of strategy to see if Michael gets upset and scared. If he gets very upset and afraid, he may immediately ask for a lawyer and stop answering the detective's questions.
I didn't do anything. I swear to God, I did not do anything.
Well, part of it is, like I said, we went through the whole house. We found everything.
What's everything?
Her. The rest of her.
Okay.
So
What?
her head. Yeah, we found everything.
This is a sensitive moment in the interrogation room. Michael's answers are very boring. He doesn't make any immediate reaction to the detective's words. Michael gets more worried and leans back in the parts of the interrogation where he gets shocked and nervous. He leans and more importantly puts his hand on his face. The police found some important evidence. They found some blood stains outside Michael's property on the grass in front of the garage and the yard. Also, the presence of bloody footprints inside the garage and a bullet in the grass multiplied the police's suspicion of Michael. The severed head of Hope Parks, it was inside a bag that he had buried on the basement floor of his house. This evidence had revealed to everyone that Michael was related to Hope's murder, but there was still no complete evidence to show that he was publicly involved in the murder of his wife.
So, and obviously you're not a bad person. You've provided for your family. You've done. So what happened was.
I know what you're thinking, but no, it wasn't me. I'm sorry.
Those could be.
Talk to my son. I've told you we've had people come to the house. My neighbors know about it.
Yeah, I've talked to him quite a bit today. But part of it too, you're telling your son, if he's screwing up, then, you need to step up to the plate. And if you screwed up, you need to step up to the plate.
Yes, I understand.
There's nobody that's going to hurt your wife like you would hurt her. And that's what happened to her.
It wasn't me. No.
Something happened to her that night. And something happened to her at your house. You were the only one there at your house that night.
I guess this is the part where I need a lawyer. Because you're not listening to me.
So we're trying to ask you, how did she lose parts of her body in your house?
No clue.
Do you have a clue?
No, I do not.
There's nowhere else for us to look. There's nowhere else for us to go. There's nobody else to talk to about this. But
All right, I want a lawyer. It was Tuesday. I got off work early at 3:30. I was home by 4:15. Kids came over. Like I said, that was not a lie. We were arguing, like I said, over my son. I was on the back porch after everybody left. I was going to shoot a groundhog. I had groundhogs in the backyard. I knew it. My neighbor does. He never came back. I went to discharge the gun. I shot 3 rounds into the tree. I went in the house. I was going to clean the gun.
Michael's general statement is that he accidentally shot his wife. In the state of Indiana, accidentally killing a person does not make the criminal guilty of murder, so the detective is trying to prove that this murder was completely intentional.
There's blood everywhere. I covered it up. I picked everything up. I cleaned the mess up. I put it in the garbage. Everything else is just
Michael says that after accidentally shooting Hope, he quickly cleaned everything up and removed all traces of the crime. If Hope's death was accidental, it doesn't make sense that Michael would have tried to cover it up. Usually when someone accidentally hurting someone, especially if that person is someone they love, their first move is to call for help, some kind of action to save their life.
What do you do after that?
I sat there and I cried. I thought about everything that was going on with fighting, with John, with the gun.
The exact
Nobody was
story
gonna
has
believe
come
me.
to the point where Michael has to express him very emotionally and with difficulty. That is why it is very strange that there is no regret or emotion in his words, and he says these words very normally. This is what makes the detective they suspect more than before that the murder was not accidental and was completely intentional.
I didn't know what to do. I'm sorry I lied.
No, that's fine. Now, here's a chance for you to tell us what happened. So, she's on the floor, you're upset, obviously. What did you do at that point?
I wrapped her in a tarp, took her down to the
Here,
basement,
Michael
I cleaned
explains
everything.
exactly how he moved the body and cleaned the scene. These words may unconsciously be a kind of confession because he manipulated the evidence of the murder, even if the prosecutor denies this. Potentially using this information against him to make Michael spend more time in prison.
Well, when you took her downstairs, you said you wrapped her up in a tarp. What are the blue tarp?
Me to be able to help. I gotta know your side.
I don't know how close she was standing. I know that she was getting ready to fix dinner. That's all I know. And I sat down. I had the gun in my hand. That's when it went off. I'm telling you, I did not
Michael
do
now
it
knows
deliberately.
that he is stuck in a deep well. He claims that his wife was accidentally hit by a car, but there is no conviction in his words. The only thing the detectives can tell from his voice and demeanor is frustration with the process of his interrogation. He hopes that the detectives believe his story.
The doctor and the gunshot, he actually put in his report that it was a contact wound, which means the barrel was close to the skin when it went off.
Then maybe she was closer
Now the
than what I
detectives
thought.
mention the issue of Hope's injury. Michael immediately presses his arms to himself. This position is called a protective position. Michael does this to calm himself down and feel safe, and it is even more strange than this. That he has no answers to the detective's questions and is very confused and upset.
So if you're at the table and she's at an angle,
Interrupting the interrogation and asking for water is a method that most criminals use in interrogation, and it is because they get a little more time. This method makes the criminal think a little more about the detective's questions and then answer them.
there's going to be two schools of thought on this. One, somehow you tragically shot her with the muzzle of the gun touching the back of her head. Or two, there was a disagreement, there was an argument, and a snap,
There was no
bad
argument.
judgment. No argument after everybody left.
No argument.
Were you still just upset from the argument earlier? It's just people on the outside looking in.
I don't care what anybody else thinks. The whole thing was shooting her. If she was where she was standing, I don't know. If she was right there, I don't know. I did not stick the gun to the back of her head and pull the trigger. I did not do that.
And all I'm telling you is the science proves differently.
Then she was closer than what I thought.
A lot closer.
That's all I can say.
You didn't want her to die.
No.
But circumstances led to her death. What was the mental capacity? Your argument that she mouthed off something and you don't know what you did. And it's okay to tell me that because that shows emotion.
And before he came in, that was the one thing that I was trying to figure out what happened. The hamburger, if she's down here.
I think I'm the one that knocked it off the stove.
Can you tell us what's going on when that hamburger gets knocked off still?
Yeah, I think I called myself an idiot.
According to the words that Michael uses, the whole issue of the fight started from the hamburger falling from the gas. Another important issue of this interrogation room is that Michael does not want to reveal the terrible secret of cutting off his wife's head.
There is no way that the gunshot happened the way
Like I said, I don't remember exactly how it happened. I'm telling you, I did not do it on purpose.
Didn't kill her on purpose or didn't shoot her on
From
purpose?
the beginning of the interrogation, Michael is saying that he shot his wife by accident and not on purpose, but the evidence says otherwise. Hope Park's autopsy proves that Michael shot his wife in such a way that she would die very quickly. He did not intend to kill his wife, but he can still be convicted of Hope's murder very easily, because he knew that such an action would lead to Hope's death.
Damn it, woman, just do what I'm asking you to do. And the gun was in your hand, unfortunately, at that time. Squeeze reflex?
Yes. I don't remember everything. But what you said makes sense.
It seems that Michael finally realizes that the detectives won't give up on him until his story matches the evidence, so he explains how he shot Hope.
I just want to know why. Because that's the same thing your daughter wants to know. Same thing your daughter wants to know. When your son wisens up, it's the same thing he's going to wise up.
I know why it happened. I can never tell him. I can't do that to him. Because that's the reason why I pulled the trigger.
After 4 long hours, the interrogation finally ended. Michael was transferred to the Montgomery County Jail, where he was held for almost 2 years and was scheduled to be tried on May 9, 2022. One day, suddenly, the detective and the police in the case discovered something important. And this executive was shocked by Michael's shock. Michael's shock was because he could have been convicted of involuntary manslaughter in court and released from prison much earlier, but in the end, the police found out that Michael was conducting investigations before killing his wife. It was online about how to strangle a human being. Also, Michael searched on the internet whether he used a pillow to suffocate and shoot someone. This proved that the murder of 44-year-old Hope Parks was premeditated and not unintentional. According to the court documents, Michael Parks cut off his wife's head with a saw after shooting her and buried her under the floor of his house. Finally, the court decided that Michael Parks will be sentenced to 50 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Thank you for being with me until the end of this video. If you are interested in this style of videos, please subscribe to the channel and set the bell to all to be notified of new videos. We are waiting for your likes and comments about this file.